everyone, in this video what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce some things that we can do with some arguments that have conditionals in them, namely modus ponendo ponens, or modus ponens for short. I'll be calling it arrow out most of the time. Let's get into it.
The next problem from the book that I want to work on is number 3. Now number 3 doesn't have to do with the translation stuff. So what I was just doing a moment ago is the translation stuff, putting things into formal language that were formerly in English. Here with number 3, we have how we're going to take these logical statements that are formalized. What can we do with them? And so the book does them in a particular way, but I'm going to do them in the way that you're going to see them on your quiz. So I'm going to set it up here the way it's going to appear on your second quiz. This is on page 21. Let's start with 3A. And there's the way the book has it, and there's the way that I'm going to do it. So first of all, the way the book has it, I'm not going to do it exactly. I'm going to do it this way. Line 1, it says this. You got A arrow B. Okay? That's an assumption. Line 2 says you've got B arrow, heavy right side, C arrow D. That's an assumption. And then you've also got A by itself. That's an assumption. And here's where I'm going to stop. I'm going to say the book is not entirely clear about this, but here's what I want to say. And here's how I'm going to give you problems. This is all the stuff you've been given. With this stuff, I want you to find this. And so when I say find this, this is the thing to solve for. So I'm going to stick this little symbol I just wrote here that looks like a T that fell to its left side. This means solve for this. Solve for or get C arrow D. This is the mission. Get this. So use the skills that you have to get this thing. This is it. Like, you get this, you're done. And you say this, you get this, and you say how you got it, you're done. Well, how do I get that? So I've got this stuff, sure. How do I get this? Well, like I said, we've got one move right now. So this is like, I play a lot of like RPGs, and when you start off with like really simple, stupid equipment. Here's your bronze sword. Use this to slash. And then later on, you get more sophisticated. That's the way this class is going to work. Later on, you're going to have a bunch of moves that you can do to defeat these problems. And I think if you think of it that way, that actually helps. So this is your one move, arrow out. And it works this way. You got an arrow, and you got a left side match. Then you can get the right side by itself. So if I had like A arrow B, and I have a match to the left side, if I have A, this is like the key that unlocks the right side. That means you can get this. That's what arrow out is. So I'm going to see if I can apply that methodology here, and then see if I can finally get C arrow D. The first thing you want to do when you look at a problem, so here's we've got these 3 things given, is look for any and all arrows that are not in parentheses. For example, there's an arrow here, it's in parentheses. That means it's locked off. Don't even bother with it. This is its own separate thing. You can't get in there. There's no way to get into parentheses. So right now, to start, let's just look and see, are there any arrows not in parentheses? Well, yeah, there are 2. There's this one, and this A arrow B, and there's this one for this B arrow C arrow D. So here's what I can do. I'm going to apply this rule. This rule is called modus ponens, arrow out. I'm going to see, do I have an arrow somewhere? I'll look at its left side. Do I have a left side match? If I have a left side match, that's like a key that unlocks the right side by itself. So for example, if I look at line 2 here, line 2, here's the arrow not in parentheses. But what's on the left side of the arrow? B. Do I have a B somewhere here by itself? Nope. There is no line that's just B by itself. So I can't unlock anything from here. All right, here's another arrow that I have. Its left side is A. If I had an A, then I can unlock its right side. Do I have an A anywhere by itself? Yeah, line 3, right here. So what this means is, here I've got the left side of this arrow. This can be used to unlock the right side of its arrow, and that's what arrow out or modus ponens is. If you have an arrow, and you have a match to the left side, then you can get out the right side. So that means in line 4, I can say here, hey, I can totally get B. Now what I need to do is over here, I need to say the reason why. Well, what move did we just use? We've only got one move, arrow out. And arrow out is the move where if you have an arrow and you have a left side match, you can totally get the right side out. So we can say we did that. We just want to say now, what pieces did we use to get there? Well, hey, I used this one. Line 1 is where there was the arrow, and line 3 was where there was the left side match. This is how I tabulate. Where did this B come from? Hey, I used this on lines 1 and 3. Now that I've gotten this thing, I want to start from the beginning again. I want to look, okay, I've got this thing now. Now what I want to look at is, again, do I have any arrows and do I have a left side match? So let's look again. Do I have any arrows? Yes, I've got this one. Do I have a left side match? Yeah, I already did that one. Do I have any other arrows not in parentheses? Oh, I've got this one. This one right here is another arrow I've had since the beginning. What's its left side? Its left side is B. Is there a left side match anywhere? Yeah, in line 4. And what that means is, according to this rule here, if you have an arrow and you have a left side match, then that unlocks the right side. So take a look at this arrow. Here, its left side is B. I have a left side match. That means I can unlock its right side. Now, its right side is a little bit bigger, but it's in parentheses. That means when I unlock it, it's going to be freed from these parentheses that are here. So check this out. Look, since I have this arrow, and here's its left side, I have a left side match. That means I can unlock its right side, and it will be free from the parentheses because it will be all by itself when I do it. That means I can get C arrow D. Now, what move did I do here? The only move that I can do. Arrow out. Where was the arrow that I used according to this model? Line 2. Where was the left side match? Line 4. So check it out. I got C arrow D because here what line 2 was, I had this left side, I had a left side match which allowed me to unlock the right side of the arrow. So I got this. And I said earlier that was the exact thing I wanted to unlock or eventually get. So we did it. That's our first problem. Let's move on to here to 3B. All right, 3B, we've got this. Line 1, it gives us E arrow F. That's assumption number 1. Assumption number 2, it gives us, in parentheses, E arrow F, arrow E. And it's not super clear from the book, but I'm just going to go ahead and say the thing that we want to get here is F by itself. The book's not clear here. I'm just telling you that's what you need to get. Get F by itself. Like, that's the mission for this problem. You get F by itself, and you can say Y here in the right column. You're done. So, first step, what we're going to do here is we're going to look for what arrows do we have that are not in parentheses. On line 1, we've got this one here. There's an arrow not in parentheses. And here, oh, there's another arrow that's in parentheses, so I'm going to ignore it. We've got this. Here's another arrow not in parentheses. Now, for either one of these, do we have a match of the left side? So let's look at the first arrow. The first arrow here, we got E arrow F. Is there, the left side is E, do we have an E somewhere by itself? Nope, so we can't use that one. Let's take a look at this one now. So this one, the left side of the arrow is itself E arrow F. Do I have an E arrow F anywhere? Yeah, in line 1. So even though it's bigger than the last problem we saw, this right here is the left side match to this. What that means is we can unlock this. So what we end up getting here in line 3 is we can say, hey, we can get E. How? Well, we got an arrow here. Its left side is E arrow F. We got a match. That means this is like the key that unlocks this to get to the right side. So we can say, hey, we got that. How? The only move we got right now. Arrow out. Where was the arrow that we used? Line 2. Where was the left side match? Line 1. Again, where was the arrow that we used? We used this. Its left side was E arrow F. Its match by itself was in line 1. So we got E. Now remember, we're going after F by itself, so we're not done. So now that this is here, we start the process over again. Are there any arrows that I have that I haven't used yet? Well, the one in line 2 we've already used, so let's not worry about it. Line 1 here, we got E arrow F. So its left side is E. Do I have an E somewhere by itself? Yeah, in line 3, the one that we just got. So what this means is, because the pattern for arrow out is this. You got an arrow, you got a left side match, you can totally get the right side. Like I said, like if today is Tuesday, then tomorrow's Wednesday. It's Tuesday, we got tomorrow's Wednesday. It works. So look at this. We got a left side match here. That means we can get the right side out. Hence the arrow out. So that means in line 4 we can say, hey, we got F. Because here we had an arrow, we had a left side match, we can get the right side out. So then we just say what we did. We did arrow out. Where was the arrow that we used? Line 1. Where was the left side match? Line 3. And this is exactly what we're trying to go after, which means this problem is done. Now let's take a look at 3C. So for 3C, and this is also on page 21, here's what's been given to us, the way that I would give it to you on a quiz. We got line 1, we got G, arrow, H, close parentheses, arrow, I, arrow, J. That's our first assumption. And then for our line 2, we've got G, arrow, H. Second assumption. Third assumption, we've got I by itself. And then I'm just going to say this. Now, it's not quite as clear in the book, but I'm just going to say do this here. This will make more sense later on. So what we're trying to solve for in this problem, we want to get, our mission is over when we get J by itself. Again, that sideways T there means get this thing. So here's the mission. Get this J by itself. You do that, you prove how you gotten it, you're golden. So let's take what we know. Remember, the move that we've got is arrow out. So the way that works is you got this pattern. You get an arrow, you get a left side match, you can totally get the right side. Let's see where we got that here. So now let's take a look at this problem. Do we have any arrows not in parentheses? So right now I see 4 arrows. Here, 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 and here. Let me make that eye a little bit clearer. So we got here, 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 and here. What I'm going to hone in on is where are the arrows that are not in parentheses. This one. And this one. So there's 2 arrows that I want to look at. Here's one not in parentheses. Here's one not in parentheses. Now I want to look at their left sides and see do I have a match. Let's start with this one actually. Line 2. This one says G arrow H. So take a look at the G here. Do I have a G anywhere by itself? Nope. So I can't use this one. So this arrow, the left side of the arrow is G arrow H. Now do I have a G arrow H anywhere? Yeah, line 2. So this lines right up. Like, look, this is the same thing as this, which means this is a match for this, and that's going to unlock the right side. So what that means, I can say here in line 4, hey, I get I arrow J, and since I have a match, it's going to unlock it from these parentheses. I get I arrow J. How? The one move we got, arrow out. Where was the arrow that we used? Hey, that was in line 1. Where was the left side match? Line 2. Because there it is. Here's the arrow. Its left side was G arrow H. Where was its match? Line 2. That means I can unlock I arrow J. And since it's no longer connected to the rest of this stuff, I don't need to keep it in parentheses. So it's unlocked. I got I arrow J now. Now remember, I'm after J, so this problem's not done. So then what I want to do is I want to look again. What arrows do I have that are not in parentheses? So this one, I've already used it. This one, I haven't used it. Except, I mean, I kind of used it here, but I haven't found like a G match. And then I've got this new one here, I arrow J. So do I have any new ones where I have a new arrow and a left side match? So do I have a new left side match for this one? Well, that hasn't changed. I already used that one. This one itself, do I have a left side match somewhere? Do I have a G by itself? No. Okay, and then this new one that I just got, it's I arrow J. Do I have a left side match for I? I do here in line 3. So what that means is when I have a left side match, according to this pattern, modus ponens, arrow out, if I've got an arrow and I've got a left side match, that unlocks the right side. The right side here would be J. So I get J, and I say how I did it. I got arrow out. Where was the arrow that I used? The arrow that I used was in line 4. Where was its left side match? Line 3. And I got it. That's J. And also, that's what I was trying to get, so that means I'm done. Now, on the top of page 22, let's take a look at 3D. So 3D gives us a lot more. So, all right, from the outset, we got the following things. Line 1, we got K arrow L. That's assumption number 1. Line 2, we got M by itself. Assumption number 2. Line 3, we've got L arrow N. Assumption. Line 4, we've got M arrow K. That's an assumption. And then I'm going to say here, solve for N. Get N by itself. So there it is. If we can get that thing by itself, we're golden. So then we follow the following rules. We try to employ the following patterns. So we got, this is the one rule we've got. Modus ponens, arrow out. You got this. Okay, you got an arrow. You got a left side match. You unlock the right side. So let's see. First of all, do I have any arrows here? Not in parentheses. I got 3 this time. This one, and this one. So first of all, look at these 3 left sides. I got a left side here, K, left side here, L, and a left side here, M. Do I have any matches? That is, do I have a K by itself? No. Do I have an L by itself? No. Do I have an M by itself? Yes, there it is. So this match unlocks this right side, which means in line 5 here, I can say, oh, I've got K. How? This move, arrow out. Where was the arrow that I used? What line was it? It was line 4. Where was the left side match? Line 2. So now I got a K. So now with this K here, let's try the same thing again. Is this the left side match anywhere? Actually, yeah, way here at the top in line 1. This is now the left side match to this, which means I've unlocked the L. So I can say, hey, I got L. How? What move? The only other move we got. Arrow out. Where was the arrow? The arrow was in line 1. Where was its left side match that unlocked it? Line 5. Okay, now remember, we're after N, so we're not done yet because we haven't found N. So now let's do this. Now with this L here, is it a left side match anywhere? Yeah, with line 3. Look, we got L arrow N. We just got the left side match, which means this is going to unlock N. and n was the thing we were after in the first place. But let's say how we got it. Don't celebrate too soon. Let's say how we got it. We used this move. We used arrow out. Where was the arrow that we used? We used line 3. And where was its left side match? Line 6. So now with the 4 assumptions that I had, I got to the thing that I was supposed to prove, and I did it only by employing this arrow out along the way.
So that was our introduction to some modus ponens stuff. What I'm going to do in the next video is I'm going to combine what we've done. So we did some formalizing stuff. We've done some stuff with arguments with modus ponens. Now we're going to put those two things together and make some translations and then do some modus ponens stuff with the arguments. So see you next time.